My fiancée did something that shook everyone to their core at my awards ceremony. As I held the trophy I'd toiled for 5 years to earn, she dragged the other man onto the stage and announced their relationship on live global television. I choked back the suffocating betrayal, but she just smirked, holding my trophy triumphantly. While they played America's Sweethearts, I personally severed her family's lifeline and scorched the other man's career. In the end, she came begging for reconciliation with roses. I simply pointed her to the trash can. That's the art of ultimate revenge. The awards ceremony. Fiancé and young star go public at the awards ceremony. My fiancée, Brittany Miller, took advantage of the moment she was supposed to present my award, pulling Trevor Evans onto the stage to make a public announcement. I looked at the two of them on stage, like the golden couple, and laughed, exasperated. Fine, fine, you're going to parade around with the other man right in front of your fiancé. Ha. I immediately turned around and had my family cut off all of Brittany Miller's resources and end all cooperation with her family. Brittany Miller grew anxious and came to me, bowing her head in apology. I waved her off, saying, "You're not even in my league. What makes you think you can talk to me?" At the Golden Orchid Awards, Brittany Miller was the presenter, and I was the recipient. Just as I was about to take the trophy from her hand, Brittany Miller took a step back and spoke into the microphone. "Today is a special day, and I have something to say." Everyone fell silent. I stood to the side, watching Brittany Miller say, "Trevor Evans and I have been together for 6 months. Today, I want to use this stage to tell him. Trevor Evans, let me be the one to confess." The audience erupted in applause, mixed with cheers and whistles. Trevor Evans, in the audience, covered his mouth, his eyes welling up. The host had to remind him to come up. The two embraced, and Brittany Miller handed the trophy to Trevor Evans. I stood by, frowning deeply. I took the microphone and chuckled. "I hear Ms. Miller already has a fiancé. Is this a public declaration to make Mr. Evans the other man?" The applause immediately died down, and Trevor Evans froze. Brittany Miller looked at me, annoyed. "Those were just jokes from our elders. What era are we in? Surely no one still believes in arranged marriage." I looked at Brittany Miller's disdainful face, and couldn't help but laugh. "Well then, congratulations and best wishes for a happy future." I put down the microphone and turned to leave, not even bothering with the trophy. I knew the entertainment reporters would have a field day. The host on stage was still calling out to me, "Ethan Hayes, your trophy." I smiled at her. "That's your trophy." I didn't believe Brittany Miller would do something like this without the host's support. After all, an awards ceremony has a set procedure, and she, as the host, showed no ability to control the situation. I gave her that trophy as a lesson to remember. I sat in the audience. The host looked a bit upset, and I wasn't interested in anything else, she said. I just pulled out my phone and quickly informed my family about Brittany Miller's stunt. Since she claimed it was an arranged marriage, she probably wouldn't need our family's help anymore. The Miller family was a third-rate family in Capitol Heights. If it weren't for their patriarch's connection with my grandfather, Brittany Miller would never have become my fiancé. After enjoying all the benefits our family provided, she thought she was hot stuff. Ridiculous. After the awards ceremony, I left with my agent. She was furious. Brittany Miller did that on purpose, didn't she? Didn't she know it was live? She messed up a perfectly good award. I patted her arm. "This is perfect. Start the marketing campaign immediately. I want Brittany Miller to kneel and beg for my forgiveness. Since I was done with her anyway, why would I put up with her nonsense?" Holly looked at me, astonished. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely." "All right. I am on it." Holly was excited. She's my cousin, and she's been managing me since I started my career. She knew Brittany Miller's background inside and out. After the Golden Orchid Awards live broadcast, Brittany Miller publicly expressed her affection, and Trevor Evans was equally enthusiastic. The two were immediately surrounded by reporters. When they came out, they posed for photos together, exuding an aura of happiness for the whole world to see. I just wondered how Brittany Miller would explain herself when she got back. I gave her a cold glance, got into the car, and drove away. No sooner had I arrived home than Brittany Miller appeared with her parents at my house. Brittany Miller's face was swollen and red, and she was even bound with utterly contrite. Was she coming to beg for forgiveness with utter contrition? Ethan Hayes. Brittany was foolish today. It was all Trevor Evans who seduced her. She was blinded by foolishness for a moment. "Can you please forgive her?" As soon as Mrs. Miller, Brittany Miller's mother, saw me, she grabbed my hand and pushed all the blame onto Trevor Evans. I found it amusing. Brittany Miller wasn't a 3-year-old. Could Trevor Evans really make her so foolish with just a snap of his fingers that she'd publicly announced their relationship at the Golden Orchid Awards? That was a live broadcast across the entire internet. She ruined my awards ceremony. I just smiled without speaking. Looking at my parents, Grace Hayes spoke up. That's not right. Brittany Miller and Trevor Evans have been together for 6 months. But before that, my son, Ethan Hayes, and she were engaged. In other words, Trevor Evans is the other man, and your daughter condoned him taking her fiancé's place. Mrs. Miller's face darkened. She then looked at Brittany Miller, feigning anger. You ungrateful brat. Come over here and apologize. Brittany Miller, however, lifted her chin. I did nothing wrong. Marriage is about freedom, and love comes first. What fiancé? Those are outdated traditions left by the older generation. I don't acknowledge them. Mom and Dad, if you force me, I'd rather leave home. Ethan Hayes, you've also received a modern education. How can you be so old-fashioned? Brittany Miller's words instantly made Mrs. Miller's face turn green. Robert Miller slapped her lightly on the head. Shut up. If you can't speak properly, don't speak at all. Grace Hayes smiled a cold smile. Since that's the case, then let our two families break off the engagement here and now. Let's exchange the engagement tokens. Daniel Hayes also nodded. Yes, young people have their own ideas. Forcing a match isn't good. My parents thought that since the two families had known each other for years, and Brittany Miller was unwilling, you can't force love. They also didn't want me to lower myself and fight Trevor Evans over a woman. If this one didn't work out, we'd just find another. Grace Hayes added, exactly, but after the engagement is broken off, our two families will have no further contact. All future cooperation will cease. This was our family's bottom line. My parents just wanted to resolve it quickly, to avoid me getting dragged into a love triangle again, which would be truly unlucky. But this made Mrs. Miller think our family was in the wrong. She immediately took out the engagement token for breaking off the engagement. It seemed she'd been carrying it, wanting to return it for a long time. Grace Hayes carefully inspected it, confirmed it was correct, and then returned their jade pendant. Brittany Miller took it and put it in her pocket. Mrs. Miller still shamelessly said, look, even though our two families are breaking off the engagement, no hard feelings. I think Ethan Hayes is a very good boy. I treat him like a son. I pulled my hand away. I couldn't possibly accept that. I have my own mother who loves me, and she always taught me that people who truly care about me aren't two-faced. Mrs. Miller froze. This? How can this child speak like that? Grace Hayes sneered. That's just how he is. If it were me, I might have actually gotten physical. Mrs. Miller was stunned and tried to say more, but Daniel Hayes also gave them the signal to leave. Mrs. Miller immediately got angry. The Hayes family sure puts on a grand show. Well, the cooperation is over, and there's no need to meet again in the future. Your family's standards are too high. We can't keep up. Glad you understand. Grace Hayes unceremoniously asked her to leave. She couldn't possibly think the Hayes family only had such a small fortune, just because 2 rounds of financial cooperation let her see our family's scale, right? Forget it. There was no need to associate further with such a short-sighted person. The butler showed them out as she left. Brittany Miller looked at me. Ethan Hayes, your temper is terrible. If only you were as gentle as Trevor Evans, I might not have. Slap. I raised my hand and slapped her. Brittany Miller froze. Mrs. Miller shrieked, you dare hit my daughter. Don't deceitful women deserve a slap? My not pressing charges is me being generous. Otherwise, I'd immediately release the video from earlier. How long do you think your daughter's true love declaration would last then? Mrs. Miller immediately quieted down. Brittany Miller glared at me and said fiercely, Ethan Hayes, just you wait. You don't get to control this industry all by yourself. I scoffed, paying her no mind. Brittany Miller's resources still came from my family. What kind of dirty tricks could she pull? I thought that would be the end of it. But to my surprise, when I woke up the next morning, Holly called me. The male lead for the epic fantasy series was suddenly replaced. That jerk, they actually swapped him out for Trevor Evans. As soon as she said that, I immediately understood. This was a resource Brittany Miller had given him. Brittany Miller was originally an investor in this series, and I had gotten the role through an audition. Things had been going well with the director, so I never expected to be replaced at the last minute. Holly gritted her teeth. "That jerk, I won't let him get away with this. I'll expose him completely." "No need, let him act in it. All his films are terrible anyway." Trevor Evans had too many scandals. He was digging his own grave without me lifting a finger. Still, some people kicked him when he was down. The entertainment industry already has limited resources. It's always a fight for roles. I originally didn't care much. It was just a shame this IP would be ruined by that guy. I didn't care, but someone, oblivious to their fate, kept flaunting in my minefield. When the production team officially announced the male lead had been changed, Trevor Evans fans exploded with laughter. "Our Trevor is amazing." Announced yesterday, and his resources soared today. Trevor's epic fantasy look is stunning. What does Ethan Hayes rely on? Just his family's money. Someone's fuming, aren't they? The entertainment industry is all about reality, and my fans weren't about to back down. They immediately jumped into the fray. What's wrong with our Ethan Hayes? Is his acting bad? He's had many works in 5 years since his debut. What about your idol? How many works does he have? His face is always the same botched plastic surgery, a lifeless expression. That face has changed several times already. Now it's 3.0. Has it stabilized? Don't let it change again in a couple of years, or well, only find him by looking up the cast list. The fans of both sides were arguing fiercely, and Brittany Miller's fans, not to be outdone, also jumped in to stir the pot. Brother-in-law is great, brother-in-law is awesome. Ethan Hayes, get out of the entertainment industry. Ethan Hayes' face is truly unbearable. So rough, not like brother-in-law's fair and smooth skin. The fans of all three parties were causing a huge commotion, and many people messaged me in my comment section, "Brother, aren't you going to say anything?" Seeing them defend me, I simply posted a message, "Taking a break during downtime. I'll be back to fight again later." My fans were appeased and temporarily quieted down. Brittany Miller, however, asked to meet me. Before, we still had an engagement and some overlapping interests, but now that she wanted to meet, it was a good opportunity for me to make things clear. When Brittany Miller saw me, she was arrogant, tossing a stack of documents in front of me. "You can't be in peach blossoms across 1,000 miles. This is compensation." I glanced at it and scoffed. A terrible script. I bet Trevor Evans didn't even want it, did he? Ethan Hayes. Even though this is a web series, the character is pretty good. The villainous supporting role is very popular. As long as you act well, there'll be no problem. After all, it suits you well. You'd be playing to type. Holly couldn't hold back. "Brittany Miller, I think you've got a screw loose." I stopped Holly and said to Brittany Miller, "If I can't star in Peach Blossoms across 1,000 miles, Trevor Evans won't either." Brittany Miller, have you bought the original novel's copyright for this show? Brittany Miller looked bewildered. What do you mean? Copyright? Of course I have it. I am warning you, don't mess with Trevor Evans, or I won't let you off the hook. TSK, TSK, may the best person win. From today on, you and I are rivals. If you dare steal my resources for Trevor Evans, I'll steal your projects. Let's see who's tougher. Brittany Miller immediately got angry. "Ethan Hayes, don't go too far. You, really?" I turned my head and sneered at her. "Yes, me, Brittany Miller, just you wait, this IP will definitely be mine. You stole my male lead. I'll make sure he can't even get into this production." Outside the office, Holly asked me, "Do you have a good plan? Do you know where to buy the copyright?" They say the original author hasn't appeared yet, and no one has been able to contact them. The reason it's being announced now is to force the author to come out. Apparently, the website has already finalized the deal. It's useless. No matter how good the deal is, it won't work. Holly looked astonished. "What do you mean? Don't you know? The author is my sister. How could she possibly sell it to anyone else?" She was instantly stunned. Sage Hayes is Sage. Yep, I pulled out my phone and called my prolific and eccentric older sister. Sage Hayes was woken up from her sleep by me, and her tone was chilling. "Ethan Hayes, if this isn't an absolute emergency, and you've disturbed my sleep, I'll skin you alive." Still so temperamental, I sighed. I broke off the engagement. Good riddance, that girl was never good enough for you anyway. But she gave the series Peach Blossoms Across 1,000 Miles to Trevor Evans, and the novel's copyright is in your hands. What? I was about to sign the contract. That little jerk. Don't sign it, just sell it directly to me. My sister immediately laughed when she heard. We're family, no need for formalities. Since that girl bothered you so much, I'll just give it to you. I don't know what method my sister used to get the website to back down, but they officially announced that the copyright belonged to me. Holly and I started a new venture, opening our own film and television company, becoming our own bosses. Overnight, the massive IP Peach Blossoms Across 1,000 Miles immediately became popular. I hadn't expected that the male lead, announced that morning, would be back in my hands by the afternoon. I wouldn't star in it, but it definitely wouldn't be Trevor Evans either. This time, Brittany Miller was immediately furious. She called me, Ethan Hayes, what methods did you use? Why is the copyright in your hands? Nothing much, probably because I have a lot of money. Who's like you? Stingy. You're a producer and an investor, but are you willing to spend money? With your chump change, you expect the original author to work with you. What are you thinking? Trevor Evans is truly miserable, following a stingy tightwad like you. I mocked her so much she couldn't speak, then hung up and blocked her. After that, someone, don't lose composure. I am just a humble person with a little money. This made Brittany Miller and Trevor Evans fans instantly collapse. Ethan Hayes, you're truly shameless, relying on your family's little money to snatch resources. Unscrupulous capitalists, boycott the Hayes family. Dox him. Let's see what business the Hayes family is in. I smiled, reading the comments and picking which ones to reply to. Yes, you're right. I do whatever I want because my family has money, being my own boss, not working for anyone else. It's awesome. If he upset, he'll just have to deal with it. If he's so capable, go convince the author to sell the copyright to you. My family makes fishing rods. Go ahead and boycott us. Seriously, fishing enthusiasts don't care about the entertainment industry. If she boycotted our products, she wouldn't be able to buy such good fishing rods anymore. My words made my fans go wild with laughter. Our Ethan is still the best. Ethan is mighty. No wonder Ethan said he was going to take a break. Turns out he was planning something big. What the heck break? He took back the whole thing in 2 hours. Yesterday's award ceremony really infuriated me. The person accepting the award was the protagonist. But Brittany actually took the trophy and announced her relationship with her boyfriend. Does she have no shame? And the host, she had no situational awareness at all. How could she control the stage? With my backing, my fans were a formidable force. They barraged the organizers, and the Golden Orchid Awards, which had been running for so long, never expected a public proposal ceremony to suddenly pop up. I apologize. I didn't expect it to be so sudden. I just thought I could share some good news with everyone on this stage. I was also dumbfounded at the time and made a small mistake. She even tagged me, your trophy is still here. Still being a smart aleck. My fans and even casual observers immediately piled on, this is a small mistake. This was Ethan Hayes' first Golden Orchid Award in 5 years of acting. Such a momentous occasion, and you let Brittany make a public declaration of love. Even I, a casual observer, think the host is unprofessional. You've been slacking off your entire career. When faced with an emergency, all you can do is go along with what others say. It's clearly terrible. The host was also a veteran in the industry, but due to her poor reputation, she was often controversial. But this time, encountering me, she immediately lost composure and started arguing back. I hadn't expected such a result. That's when Trevor Evans stepped up. Thank you all for your concern. I am really fine. I hope everyone can pay more attention to our work. I will continue to work hard and fight against greedy capitalists. The way he spoke, it was as if I was the unforgivable capitalist, and he was striving to overcome difficulties under my oppression. He made himself sound so inspiring, instantly revealing my true nature, calling me a greedy capitalist. He actually made me laugh. Was Trevor Evans really not afraid of being exposed? Knowing I was a capitalist, he still dared to go against me, even throwing shade. It was probably because Brittany Miller was backing him, but on second thought, Brittany Miller probably didn't know our family's true power, which was why she dared to be so reckless. Since that was the case, I had to teach them a lesson. With the copyright for Peach Blossoms Across 1,000 Miles now mine, I began casting nationwide. I replaced the original director and invited the renowned industry director, Arthur Thompson. The entire internet was watching, and Arthur Thompson's involvement made this huge IP even more popular. He was a director who had produced many hit series. With him on board, it couldn't go wrong. Although some people behind the scenes called me a greedy capitalist, they still had to come and participate. When faced with such a huge opportunity, my team might not be the best, but this IP alone was enough to make people envious. To help me get revenge, my sister signed over the copyrights for 3 novels to me, all of which were hugely popular back then, ranking in the top 3 and consistently topping the charts. X page. Did Ethan Hayes save your life in a past life, that you'd give him all these novels? Ms. Sage. If he being threatened, change your profile picture. My sister immediately changed her profile picture to a still of me from the set, which stunned everyone. My fans burst out laughing. Tell me. I said they had true love, but some people still didn't believe it. What kind of capitalist could make Ms. Sage willingly give him all 3 novels? Ms. Sage is prolific. She probably has 20 works on hand. If he's so capable, give them all to him. My sister didn't hold back. She immediately posted on Twitter, so she hoped everyone would pay attention. This made certain petty individuals' eyes turn red with envy. They hadn't realized I had such powerful connections. Is no one going to reign in the Hayes family? I need to really dig into his family and see if they have any scandals. Laughable. Scandals. The carbon fiber fishing rod my father developed was actually requisitioned by the state. That thing could protect him for a lifetime. My father wasn't idle with the Miller family either. Brittany Miller had been flaunting in the background, even buying a lot of paid trolls to slander me. They even claimed there was a hidden agenda between me and the novel's author. Some even defamed me, saying I used power and money to coerce the original author. I laughed when I saw these rumors. It was a shame these people weren't novelists. My father was fuming and ruthlessly going after the Miller family. I didn't take it seriously, but as the casting progressed, Trevor Evans was the first one I excluded. Brittany Miller, furious, came to my company to find me, but was stopped by security downstairs. She called me, but I had blocked her, so she contacted Holly. Holly, out of professional courtesy within the industry, answered the phone. Give the phone to Ethan Hayes. After I took the call, I heard her say, Ethan Hayes, you ruthless, you doing all this just to make me come back, aren't you? I am telling you it's impossible, but I am still willing to give you a chance. Have dinner with me tonight. And you let Trevor Evans audition. Hearing her say that, I couldn't help but laugh. The nerve of you. What makes you think I am doing all this to get your attention? Brittany Miller still didn't believe it. Otherwise, why would you make such a big fuss? Isn't it all just to make me change my mind? Don't worry, I definitely won't. Bullshit. I couldn't help but swear. Brittany Miller, without me, your resources are garbage. You should take a good look at yourself. I also want to warn you, your boyfriend isn't so innocent either. I kindly warned her so the Miller family wouldn't go bankrupt. To my surprise, Brittany Miller thought I was deliberately cursing her and immediately yelled at me, Ethan Hayes, disgusting. Me, disgusting. She hung up just as I was about to speak. I blocked her on Holly's phone too. From now on, Brittany Miller was completely off limits to me, but unexpectedly, when we arrived at the audition location, Holly rushed over. Something's happened. Some jerk actually leaked your scandalous video. I took her phone and glanced at the scandalous video. Although Brittany Miller and I were engaged, we had never crossed boundaries. Forget about taking scandalous photos like that. We hadn't even held hands or kissed. I was swamped like a spinning top normally. Did I have time to play such games with anyone? I shook my head. Call the police. I already called the police. But things are more complicated than we thought. After all, so many people are following you. Look, my Twitter. Countless people flooded into the comments. How disgusting. I never thought Ethan Hayes, who seems so pure, would play such dirty tricks in private. How many wealthy patrons have you been with? I bet you begged for it to get the copyright, didn't you? All sorts of vulgar words filled my vision. Just as I was about to read on, a hand reached out and snatched my phone away. Don't look, those are just hate comments. These people are mindless. Just call the police and leave the rest to the legal team. Can I be serious during my audition now? Looking at Noah, who had volunteered to audition, I was momentarily stunned, then smiled. My apologies. let's continue. Holly saw the two of us and was instantly dumbfounded. You two are acting fanatics. At a time like this, you still have the energy to audition. What else could we do? The arrow was on the string, it had to be shot. No one could stop me from becoming a boss. Professional matters are handled by professionals. After calling the police, I had the company's legal team immediately identify and record the IDs of everyone who spread the video, and those who left a large number of hate comments, and then sue them all. Anyway, I had money. I didn't need their apologies. I just needed them to pay the price. That was enough. It's AI face swapping. Anyone with discernment won't fall for it. Also, IVE reported it to the police. This time, I absolutely will not let go of anyone who slanders me. Justice will prevail. Don't think I can't find you just because you're hiding behind a keyboard. Current technology is far more advanced than you imagine. I don't know if it was because of my strong stance, but many people lined up to apologize in my comments section. I didn't accept. Even if you deleted it, I had ways to find you. It's truly ugly how you brazenly insult me from behind a keyboard, but you look even uglier lining up to apologize to me. If you hadn't apologized, I would have respected you as a real man, but I never expected you to turn around and beg me tearfully. It just makes me disdainful. My bold statement also drew applause from some netizens. Noah commented below my post, exactly, cyberbullying is unacceptable, and those who spread it are criminals who should go to jail. I don't know if it was because Noah opened the door, but people in the industry started speaking up for me. At this point, Brittany Miller couldn't sit still. She probably realized that without my family, the Miller family was just a third-rate clan in this city. After my father successively blocked 6 of their projects, they finally arrived. Grace Hayes simply left them waiting there. After a long while, Mrs. Miller finally couldn't hold back. Dear in-laws, as soon as she spoke, Grace Hayes interrupted her. I already told you, our families won't be in-laws. Don't call me that. My son still needs to marry a wife eventually. Mrs. Miller, shameless, said, oh, but look, they were childhood friends, anyone would do, so why not just unite our families? After speaking, she told Brittany Miller to come over, but Brittany Miller didn't move an inch. Grace Hayes smiled and said, IVE already told you, it's better if our two families don't associate. Just say what you came for today, no need to beat around the bush. Mrs. Miller's face looked awkward. Actually, I came to apologize. Please, I beg you to show mercy. Our family can't take this anymore. All right then, have Brittany Miller herself admit that she and my son were engaged, and that Trevor Evans is the other man. Only then can I let you off the hook. Brittany Miller immediately had a complete meltdown and refused to admit it. I won't admit it. Trevor Evans and I have true love. Then there's nothing I can do. Grace Hayes shrugged, signaling the butler to show them out. Mrs. Miller wouldn't give up. She raised her hand and slapped Brittany Miller hard. What spell has that other man cast on you? Hasn't our family suffered enough because of him? I am telling you, if you don't admit it, No. If you do that, you'll lose me forever. The Hayes family is going too far. Brittany Miller, will never agree. Grace Hayes smiled. Show them out. She originally didn't want to deal with these people, but Mrs. Miller wouldn't give up, waiting at my doorstep every day. One day, I came home a bit late, and she managed to corner me. Ethan Hayes. Mrs. Miller, our two families have absolutely no connection anymore. Please don't make things difficult for me. I knew what she wanted to say, so I interrupted her intentions first. Her face looked a bit grim. Ethan Hayes, I know our Brittany Miller wronged you, but please, don't continue to go against her, okay? I don't understand what you mean. Brittany Miller and I are both in the entertainment industry. Everyone succeeds based on their own abilities. How am I targeting her? Are you implying that Brittany Miller was behind the slander against me? She was instantly speechless. I sneered, ruining my reputation and slandering my good name. Do you think I'd let her off easily? If your scandalous video were posted online, would you forgive them? Don't have double standards. If Brittany Miller truly is the culprit, I will absolutely not compromise. Mrs. Miller immediately got angry. You young man, why are you so relentless? Be careful, you might not find a wife in the future. I am afraid I'll disappoint you. Even if I don't find a wife, I have money. as long as I have money. Why would I worry about not having women? Out with the old, in with the new. She was so infuriated she nearly toppled over but could do nothing, as everything I said was true. I told the butler to guard the gate well, and hire 2 more rows of bodyguards. As soon as they saw any Miller family members, they were to kick them out. The police were also very efficient. They quickly discovered that Trevor Evans was the one who posted the scandalous video. He was taken away by the police during a live broadcast, and Trevor Evans fans immediately had a complete meltdown. Ethan Hayes, was this your doing? You actually ordered the police to take our Trevor away. What were you thinking? Ethan Hayes, don't rely on being a capitalist and bully people recklessly. Come out and apologize. What did you do to our Trevor? I truly admire these delusional fans. I am not some big shot. I am just an artist. Even though I now want to be a film company boss, I really don't have the power to order the police to arrest someone. The police quickly issued an announcement, proving that Trevor Evans was indeed responsible for the scandalous video. This news stunned everyone. Through my lawyer, I informed everyone that I would absolutely not let this go and would not settle. This time, Trevor Evans panicked, finally realizing how resolute my stance was. Brittany Miller begged me, please, let him go. I smiled, looking at her. When you ask for something, you need to have the right attitude. You must do what my mother told you to, but this will ruin Trevor Evans. When he did that, didn't he think about ruining me? I can see now that your whole family has the same double standards. You can take your time to think about it, but it's up to Trevor Evans if he can wait that long. Hearing this, Brittany Miller immediately became scared. Knowing I was serious, she clenched her fists and gritted her teeth. Don't worry, I'll do it. I nodded as I heard her speak. True love. Indeed. Brittany Miller suddenly announced her retirement from the industry, and exposed herself as a deceitful woman. Ethan Hayes and I were engaged. When Trevor Evans and I got together, I hadn't yet ended that engagement. For this, I apologized to Mr. Hayes. I hurt him, and I also hurt Trevor Evans. Hereby, I announce my permanent retirement from the industry. Brittany Miller ruined her own future. Netizens immediately erupted, and she was completely exposed. Oh my god. I thought her stunt at the Golden Orchid Awards was an accident, but I never imagined she did it on purpose, choosing the moment her fiancé was receiving his award to publicly announce her relationship, catching him off guard, all while claiming it was true love. Brittany, it truly a Brittany. Brittany hasn't appeared today. Could she have been arrested by the police? Ive turned into a hater today. I'll never believe in love again. The Miller family was severely weakened. To recoup their losses, they quickly sold their mansion. Brittany Miller's actions caused the Miller family's business to plummet. They lost a large sum of money from failed investments, and due to her retirement announcement, brands terminated their contracts with her. Although I signed a letter of understanding, Trevor Evans' public image shattered. The other man, after taking the lead, deliberately slandered and defamed me. No one would work with him anymore. Brands and various endorsements he had secured all terminated their contracts, and demanded compensation from him. Trevor Evans' past scandals were also exposed. He was fundamentally a serial homewrecker, and had been beaten up in public by his ex-wife, which was why he had undergone multiple plastic surgery procedures on his face. Brittany Miller never imagined that the true love she pursued was so despicable. She and Trevor Evans had a nasty breakup, and paparazzi even caught them fighting in the street. I found it amusing when I heard this news. Back then, they swore it was true love, and refused to be separated. Now, after overcoming all difficulties to be together, they regretted it. As the male and female leads for My Peach Blossoms, Across 1,000 Miles IP were confirmed, and filming was about to begin, Brittany Miller appeared at the set. When she saw me, she was holding a large bouquet of roses. Ethan Hayes, I was blinded. It was like I was in a dream before, and only after waking up did I realize I couldn't live without you. The surroundings were dead silent, everyone staring at her. Brittany Miller truly had thick skin. With so many people watching, she could still say such things. I suddenly felt that eating less in the morning was a blessing. At least I hadn't thrown up yet. Brittany Miller continued speaking to herself. Can you give me another chance? Let's start over. We already had an engagement. I couldn't help but interrupt her. Brittany Miller, do you even see where you are right now? What you doing? Aren't you worried Trevor Evans will come looking for you? Trevor Evans is a pariah now. Our family doesn't need a scumbag like him. I shook my head. Tutting. Brittany Miller, What a coincidence. Our family doesn't need trash like you either. Either real scumbag, you chased after Trevor Evans because you crave novelty. Don't tell me you didn't know about all his past scandals. But you chose to ignore them, allowing him to rise, now that he's in trouble. Either first to abandon him, you lack even the most basic human decency, and as his girlfriend, completely unqualified. I despise trash like you, stay away from me. Brittany Miller's face immediately paled. After everything I said, she still feigned deep affection. Is there really no hope for me at all? I chuckled. Do you have any competitiveness? The entertainment industry is overflowing with beautiful women. You don't stand a chance compared to them. What makes you think I'd still want you? Brittany Miller was stunned. She hadn't expected me to be so blunt. Ethan Hayes, in your eyes, am I just someone who can be replaced at any time? Would anyone do as your fiancé? I shook my head. Of course not. Only someone with good character, good looks, and money could possibly stand by my side. Unfortunately, you don't possess any of those three. If it weren't for the connection between our families, do you really think your Miller family would be worthy of standing next to me? My words completely shattered Brittany Miller. She hadn't realized that in my eyes, she was worthless. She nodded then, turning to leave, her back appearing utterly dejected. I meanwhile shrugged. I was just telling the truth. Don't take it too hard. Brittany Miller never contacted me again after that, and I was happy to have some peace. Trevor Evans had a falling out with her, apparently. He was threatening suicide to force marriage. How could Brenda Miller ever allow that? She married Brittany Miller off to a wealthy businessman. As for Trevor Evans, I heard she had him sent to a mental institution, but none of that had anything to do with me anymore. Production began on Miles of Peach Blossoms. I was the supporting actor and producer. Holly teased me, not playing the lead anymore. As long as I want to, I can be the lead anytime. But I like this supporting role. It's complex and full of contradictions. I want to challenge myself with it. Holly ruffled my hair and said nothing. A week into filming, Sage Hayes arrived and gave me a long lecture, finally warning me, Ethan Hayes, let me tell you, this is my life work. If you mess it up, I am taking back all the copyrights. She was trying to scare me again. I wasn't scared at all, but I still put my arm around her and grinned. Don't worry, I am an A-list actor. Everyone was surprised to see how familiar we were with each other. Holly scoffed from the side. They are siblings, no need to be so shocked. That's when everyone realized that Ethan Hayes and Ms. Sage were actual siblings. No wonder they managed to get the novel's copyrights. Even Noah looked completely shocked. Then he said gravely, I think I hitched my wagon to the right star. Please give me a role in every play after this. Whether it's a supporting character or even a servant, if I act well, this will be my retirement plan. The crew all laughed. Noah, usually so stoic, truly had a knack for dry humor. I waved my hand dismissively. No problem. On the day Miles of Peach Blossoms premiered, the fans of us principal creators all jumped in, making it known across the entire internet. On the first day of broadcast, the data was impressive. Miles of Peach Blossoms became leading by a mile in its time slot, although I, as the supporting actor, didn't have much screen time. My acting was beyond reproach. At the Golden Magnolia Awards that year, I took the stage as Best Supporting Actor. The award was presented to me by a triple A-list actor, and I've never forgotten the expectations of my predecessors. Standing on this stage again, recalling everything from a year ago, we've overcome so many challenges.